Hello and welcome to the Gold Newsletter channel. My name is Kai Hoffman. I'm the @JR mining guy over on X. And together with our good friend Brian London, I'm the host of the Gold Newsletter channel. And I'm really looking forward to this company introduction today. It is Angus Gold. They're exploring the Golden Sky project up in Ontario in the Wawa mining camp. And I'm joined by the president and CEO, Breanne Beh. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with her. It is one of the stories that stood out to me quite a bit at Beaver Creek. That's the Precious Metals Conference that happens every September. I always take notes. I've taken over 30 meetings, and my comment under that company was interesting. At the time, they had $10 million of cash, 30 million market cap. I think they're sitting around still the same market cap. Cash probably depleted because they're working, but it stood out to me. So that's why I'm really excited to have Breanne join me here in a few short seconds and run us through the Angus Gold story. But before I switch over, please hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us out reaching a wider investor base, and we do appreciate it. Now, without much further ado, Breanne, it is great to have you on the program. It's great to meet you, we've met, but have you introduce the company here on the Gold Newsletter. Breanne, let's start with a bit of an overview. Give us a 60-second Cliff Note version of Angus Gold. Who are you?
Right. Thanks for that intro, Kai. Angus is a junior gold explorer. We're based in Toronto with projects in Northern Ontario. Our flagship project is the Golden Sky project, which is located about 50 kilometers west of Wawa, Ontario. Our land package there is comprised of almost 300 square kilometers, and it's situated between WestDome's Mishi open pit and WestDome's high-grade underground Eagle River mine. So despite the fact that we are actually positioned so close to, the infrastructure, I guess, that comes along with mining operations, our land package has actually remained very underexplored. And I think it's that exploration potential that we have there, along with the discoveries that we've made at our Dorset Gold Zone, at our Banded Iron Formation Gold Zone, and then at our Eagle River Splay exploration area, that make the project so exciting. In terms of the team behind Angus, the board of directors is very much comprised of a lot of the Probe Gold exploration team. That's kind of how I fit into the story too. I've worked for this team for over 10 years now. I think they just bring a lot of experience to the exploration and a very systematic approach to the work that we're doing.
No, fantastic. No, really, really good introduction there. Of course, I've got lots of follow-up questions for you, Breanne. But usually the second question I ask in company introduction is really tell us about the cap structure. How many shares outstanding do you have? Tell us a bit about the investor base, and of course, how much cash is left.
Yeah, so we have about, I think it's just shy of 60 million shares outstanding. We're sitting with about 6.5 million in the bank heading into 2025. So we are fully funded to complete all of our exploration and drilling programs for 2025. WestDome owns about 11% of us. Directors and insiders hold about 30. Institutional, I think, is 36. And then retail investors is roughly 15.
No, that's a nice chunk of change. We'll have to break that down. How'd you get that money? Like, yeah, how did that work out? Tell us a bit more, maybe about the history of the company and that same answer as well, potentially.
Yeah, so I think the position we're sitting in right now, I think, is thanks largely in part to Wesdome coming in early 2024 and kind of acquiring the 11%. So that was a nice a raise that we did. Kind of with their vote of confidence, I guess, behind us. And then we raised another approximately 4 million in June of last year. So that's kind of, it put us in a nice position heading into 2025, just to feel comfortable and be able to really hit the gas pedal, I guess, in terms of the work we wanted to do because of how prospective we feel this package is, this land package, excuse me.
I just touched on it. Like, since it is a company introduction, maybe we'll talk about the history of the project itself a little bit, and how did Angus Gold acquire it, or how did you come to it? Maybe give us a bit of a background there as well, Breanne.
Yeah, for sure. So this is actually the first time that this land package has been all consolidated under one operator. So prior to Angus holding this land package, it was really fragmented between smaller time exploration companies. Some packages were just held by individual prospectors, actually. So Angus put a lot of work into kind of stitching this land package together. A portion of it was actually an option off of IM Gold, but we completed that 100% earn-in a couple years ago now. So everything is now 100% Angus ground. But I do think it kind of lends itself to why it's remains so underexplored. You know, it's harder to do large scale systematic exploration programs when you just have kind of small swaths of land. And so by us putting together kind of a district scale land package, it really allows us to do large scale kind of, I guess, district scale exploration surveys. So airborne mag, large geochem surveys that really lets you hone in on the most prospective spots on the project. And I think it helps, just with the work we're doing. And again, kind of goes back to that probe philosophy where, hey, yeah, let's put together a nice large land package in a prospective mining friendly jurisdiction. And then it's nose to the grindstone. And every dollar we can goes into trying to unlock the exploration potential by choosing effective, I think, survey techniques for the ground.
No, I appreciate you explaining that. And maybe did you get away with one here? Is like, why did WestDome not stake it? Like you said you're between the Mishi pit and the Eagle mine. Like, isn't that prime WestDome country? Why doesn't WestDome have it?
Yeah, I think Wesdome has always been interested in a junior coming in and kind of doing the exploration work that we're doing. So, I think, they have been very focused with, pushing forward Eagle River and Kena. They have two great mines that they hold and that they've, done a lot of work on in the last 5 to 10 years in terms of adding value to those projects. So I think, it's just hoping that a junior could come in and do the work we're doing. And then, it was great to see them come in and support us. So I think they're really happy with the fact that we're working in their area or their neighborhood, I guess, if you will. There has been a lot of renewed interest in the Wawa mining district in the last 10 years. So although, WestDome are our direct neighbors, there's a lot of other companies that are majors that are exploring in the district as well. We have Barrick up the road, we have Alamos doing a lot of work nearby as well. So I just think personally, it's a great neighborhood to be working in right now and to be seeing the results that we're seeing on our land package.
Yeah, it brings me a bit to the question of the business plan, Breanne. It's like I mentioned it to you before hitting the record button. I think I've asked you in Beaver Creek as well. When you look at it, it's like I like looking at things backwards as well. Like, what's a possible exit strategy here for you and Angus Gold? Like, is WestDome the only logical buyer? Are you like sort of pigeonholed there, or do you have other options as well?
Yeah, I think it's a good fit for them. Obviously, we sit between their mine and their mill. However, I just mentioned, I don't think it's the only end game for us. I think there are some other fantastic majors that are actively exploring in the area as well. And so, Barrick and Alamos in particular. And I don't think that there's been a lot of exploration companies pushing projects forward in this district in the past decade or so. There's a couple, yes, but there aren't a lot of them. So I think we are happy to kind of have been, like part of the upswing of this mining district getting renewed attention with the success at Island Gold and at Eagle River.
Yeah, I know, fantastic. I love optionality and options here. Let's jump into 2024, and to maybe, because it is still January as we're recording this, so we were allowed to do a bit of a recap of last year still. But
Sure.
recap 2024 for us. Like, what have you achieved? Did you achieve all your goals? Run us a bit through it.
Yeah, so I think for 2024, our most exciting achievement for sure was hitting this new high-grade zone to the west of our Dorset gold zone. So it was hole 136 that we drilled. It was the last hole of our winter 2024 drill program. At that time, we were drilling along the most western section tested to date of our Dorset gold zone. And we were testing this hypothesis where we thought the gold zone was maybe starting to bifurcate as we moved westward. And we intersected 7 grams over 12.5 meters almost. That included 21.7 grams over, I think it was 3.3 meters. So this was definitely a bit of a game changer for us in terms of higher grade. And we were obviously quite excited with this result. At the same time, we now were able to look at this 2 kilometers of strike length that extended to the west of this gold intersection that had never been drill tested. Not a lot of work had been done out that direction. So that was a big achievement for us. We returned to this area during our fall 2024 program. And yeah, we just put kind of the highlights out yesterday, actually, where we've now been able to define this new higher grade zone over about 100 meters of strike length. So we're really happy that we're returning, we're hitting it consistently. And with this drilling, we've also now extended the entirety of our Dorset gold zone to 2 kilometers of strike length. So this is continuous mineralization. And I think it's a big achievement, because when we acquired the project in 2020, that gold zone was only 750 meters. So I'm really happy with that outcome from 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. No, those are great results that you just put out. Like, how many more holes are pending? Like, what are you expecting? Like, in what areas are the results coming in from?
Yeah, so as of right now, we've put out everything from 2024. We are back drilling in this area as of right now during our winter drill program. Our winter drill program is aiming to be about 8,000 meters, focused mainly on Dorset, a little bit down at the Eagle River Splay as well. But I think, those results will start to come in probably like end of Q1, start of Q2. But I think in general that 8,000 meters will give us a nice news flow over the spring and into the summer.
Yeah. Just at Dorset, is like, can you break that down? Like, where are you distributing the 8,000 meters?
Yeah. So for the winter stuff, it will, I would say a healthy 6 to 6,500. 100 meters will be at Dorset, and maybe the remainder will be down at Eagle River Splay. We'll return to the Banded Iron Formation zone, which, I should mention that one too. Like, it's a great zone as well. It was an Angus discovery that we made in 2021 with 2 initial drill holes intersecting this brand new gold horizon. We've defined it now to 1 kilometer of strike length, and we'll return to this area to drill in the summer. I've allocated about 3,000 meters there, where we'll try and continue to focus on some of these higher grade shoots that we think are in this 1 kilometer strike length that we've defined, while also beginning to test parallel trends that we think have high potential to host new gold horizons as well within this large 6 kilometers of banded iron formation that we have on our land package.
What's the goal of the program, Breanne? Like, you might have mentioned it, but just to reiterate, like, what's the goal? Like, what are you trying to achieve with it? Like, what are you trying to learn from it?
Yeah, I think at this point the goal is really like, let's try and grow these zones that we've found as big as we can this year, so that as we work towards a resource update, or our first resource, I should say, in 2026, we're able to kind of put our best foot forward. So yeah, like, overall, we've defined 3 kilometers strike length of gold horizons in our land package. And so I think at this point, we're very happy with the successes we've had, but growing it and improving grade as we work towards that 2026 achievement is kind of our goal right now.
Breanne, like, I've noted down in Beaver Creek resource update, and in 2026, maybe we can. I'm always curious, and you don't have to mention it. Like, it's a bit of a tricky question with 43101 compliance, but it's like, what's your target? Like, what is there something you're guiding the market towards to? Like, what's your goal?
What would I love to see, kind of thing?
Like, you got to have a business plan in mind here, Breanne. Like, what's the target? Like, something you can mention. I don't want to just like put you in a precarious situation, but I know other companies are mentioning, hey, our goal is 10 million ounces. This is what it will take to get there. And I think you made some comments to me in Beaver Creek as well. Just sort of, you got to have a plan. You got to have a business plan. Where is this going to go? Doesn't mean it's happening tomorrow or coming out with the first resource update. But I'm just curious, like, what's the end goal for you here?
Yeah, I mean, as a whole on the project with the 2 zones that we've currently defined, like, I would love to see something in the realm of 750 to 800,000 ounces. I think based on our location and the proximity to the infrastructure that already exists in this district, again, just reminding folks that we are literally situated adjacent to a mill. I think that is something that could be very attractive in terms of a resource for our company.
No, perfect. In terms of ground that you have, like, are you fully satisfied right now? Do you need to pick up little specks here and there, or is some other prospector still holding some ground that you want to pick up that you're interested in?
So that's a good question. We definitely have done some staking along the edges of our land package. I think that we do have a huge land package. Like, in all reality, it's big, and we are consistently, every summer running grassroots exploration programs, continuing to try and unlock that exploration potential. With the hit rate that we've had in terms of like finding gold intersections on this project, like I just have never had that before, working on exploration projects. So I really want to believe, and I think our management team really believes in the prospectivity, and I think, yeah, it could only be a matter of time until we hit another zone where we're like, oh my goodness, it's crazy, because this, again, is so close to this operating mine, but the land has just been left so underexplored that, bringing in these new, more modern techniques is really unlocking potential that yeah, we're just excited that we have 300 square kilometers of this potential. So, or 300, excuse me, yeah, square kilometers, yeah.
Yeah. Like, one thing I've seen juniors do in the past, and doesn't mean you guys are doing it, but I'm always worried, and maybe one of my very first clients did that as well, and they failed miserably, sadly, but they had too many targets and they couldn't decide what to do.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
they tried to drill 16 targets or something, like, with very limited budget, and we're still in a market where budgets are or where money is scarce, like, or very selective, right? Like, how are you approaching that? How are you approaching the targeting? Like, how are you prioritizing?
For sure, yeah. So being a geologist, I think, yeah, I get very excited about all the grassroots targets that we have as well. But I think that is where, it's fantastic to have such a strong board of directors, because I think they really help us stay focused as a team on like the business plan that you keep mentioning, right? And so we definitely are focused on these two known zones that we have. In the past, we've kind of loved the Biff zone the most because it was a discovery that Angus made, and so you want to give a little extra love to it, for sure. However, I find every winter we run a program on Dorset, and the results come back better than we're hoping for. So I would say that the spotlight is definitely shifting for us in terms of priority to Dorset, and just, again, trying to see how much strike length we can add, in particular to this new zone on the west this year. That's a big focus. Again, returning to the Biff and trying to grow that and improve that. And then Eagle River Splay, we just feel has really great prospectivity. So we'll focus on that kind of as our third priority this year. And then the others, depending on the results of the initial drill programs on our first three priority areas, that will kind of determine what else gets drill meterage later in the year.
You said resource update in 2026, and I should have asked you earlier that, but what do you need to get to that resource update? What is still missing? Like, what do you feel like, okay, we need to do this so we can get it some more confidence perhaps in the resource? Is it just infill drilling, or do you need anything else to be added there?
Yeah, so I think through Dorset, through the majority of the central portion of Dorset, there's a fair bit of drilling. They did, there's a historic resource that was completed in 2007. So we're kind of working internally right now on some of our modeling, as well as, just making sure our databases are tidy, making sure everything is kind of like, I's dotted, T's crossed, so that everything is very much compliant as we move towards that goal. Some areas for sure could benefit from some infill drilling on the east and west extensions of Dorset, just to kind of, I guess, increase drilling density and decrease the spacing between the holes. I think that would be nice to see. But yeah, for sure, as I kind of keep mentioning, it's growing it and testing how big it could potentially be. I think right now we're just excited about that potential with these results we keep getting to the west.
Yeah. I can tell, like, you're smiling from ear to ear. So no, absolutely. That's amazing. Two last topics I sort of know the answer to, but it's metallurgy and permitting. Metallurgy, maybe I'm not sure if you've done any testing on that, but I'm just making assumption now. It's very similar to what we're seeing from your neighbors, I would assume, but maybe you
Yeah,
can
for
correct
sure.
me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, like going back to this Dorset West zone, we're just like more consistently seeing visible gold in the quartz veins that host this zone at Dorset West. So to answer your question, no, we haven't done any metallurgy, but I strongly believe like the results will be favorable.
Yeah, so it's very similar to what your neighbor is seeing, Wesdome, and because metallurgy can break a project, right? But
Yeah.
your neighbor is pretty much mining what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, permitting, not a big deal. Just making sure you get all the permits and everything for drilling and checks, so we don't have to wait or there's any delays or anything. We should be golden there.
Yeah, currently we have a drill permit in hand for 3 years on both the Biff and the Dorset zones. So we're in pretty good shape. Kind of constantly working with communities in the area to make sure everyone's happy with the work we're doing and how we're going about it.
Oh, fantastic. Then, Breanne, of course, last question always is about upcoming catalysts. Like, as investors, we're always greedy. You just put out drill results yesterday. So when's the
Right.
next press release coming out, Breanne, and what can we be looking forward to?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are drilling at Dorset right now. We're happy with what's coming out of the drill. So I imagine, we should be seeing some of that news flow start March, April. Overall, as I mentioned, the 8,000 meters that we're aiming for the winter program, I think should give us a healthy news flow through the spring and into the summer program.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. No, really excited. Breanne, like, sounds phenomenal. You tick a lot of the boxes that I'm looking for. So I really appreciate you jumping on here with us on the Gold Newsletter channel. Of course, good luck with the drilling. Really looking forward to seeing some more results come out here from Angus Gold, guys. Like, I really appreciate it. And everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Breanne Beh. And make sure to check out the company. I really like it. I'm not a shareholder yet, but I'm getting closer by the day, I have to admit. So, waiting for some more. Personally, I'm just waiting for some more results and a little more indication of where the market is going. But this story ticks a lot of my boxes. So make sure to check them out below. Like, I'll put the link to their website down below as well. And if you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. We do appreciate it, and we'll be back with lots more. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gold Newsletter.